Wayne Jennings here, and I'm about to head out my canoe and try out a new little camera. This is the OmiCam VR action camera. The VR stands for virtual reality because this has an extreme wide angle lens and it's a very immersive experience. Now, it's not quite like a 360 camera where you can see everything, even what's behind you, but it does have a 240-degree angle of view. So that allows you to see everything in front of you, plus things to the side and slightly behind and above and behind. So it's a really, really wide angle lens. The other nice thing about this camera, like most action cameras, it comes with a waterproof housing if you want to take it snorkeling or scuba diving, but the camera itself is waterproof. So, it's great if it gets splashed or if it starts raining. I don't have to worry about putting it in the housing. I can just continue to use this. In fact, I'm going to use it right now. I'm going to get in the canoe, head out, and take some shots. Well, as you can see, the lens on this camera gives you an extremely wide field of view. It's a very cinematic look. Now, let's take a closer look at this camera and check out all the details. The OmiCam wearable VR camera features an extremely wide-angle 240-degree fisheye lens. A 12-megapixel image sensor allows you to capture panoramic photos and shoot 4K video at 30 frames per second. With battery and memory card, the camera weighs in at 3.7 ounces. That's about 110 grams. And it retails for around $249 US. And here's what you get. Of course, you get the camera itself, which comes with a protective lens cap and a built-in 1100 milliamp hour battery. There's an alligator-style mounting clip featuring a rotating mount. You get a spare mounting clip and a tripod adapter. There's a USB cable for battery charging and file transfers. You get a full color user manual. It even comes with a 16 gigabyte micro SD memory card, and it comes with this nicely padded carrying pouch. The waterproof housing is available as an optional extra, and it's rated for a depth of 50 meters. That's about 160 feet. It comes with a quick release mount, and it even includes a set of anti-fog inserts. Now, let's take a closer look at this camera. The camera has a very unusual shape, and it looks nothing like any other action camera I've used. Long and cylindrical, dominated on the top by the wide-angle lens, which thankfully comes with this tethered lens cap, which is a great idea to protect the lens. I wish other companies would include something like that as well. On the bottom here, we have a metal 1/4-inch tripod socket for mounting it to a selfie stick or a tripod. And on the bottom, we have a GoPro-inspired quick release mount. The camera has a little hatch that slides off here. There we go. Which reveals this little door behind which we will find a USB port for charging the battery and for transferring files. There's also the micro SD slot beside it there, and luckily this camera is supplied with a 16 gig micro SD card. There's three main switches on this camera. Let me just put this lens cap back on to protect the lens. On the side here, this is the main power switch, which is green when there's power, changes to amber as the battery diminishes, and eventually changes to red. This flashing blue light indicates we're connected to Wi-Fi. On the top of the camera, there's another switch here that you can toggle through for video or photos or what they call life log, which I'll talk about a bit later, but that's kind of a time-lapse feature that lets you record shots all day long. And on the front is your main shutter release to start and stop the camera. Now, you notice there is no display screen or a view screen on this camera. In order to see what the camera is recording, you have to connect it to Wi-Fi and use the app that you can download. But it's very useful if you want to make some extra settings. For instance, If you click on the recording one, you can set it up to record photos or videos or time lapse, but there is a menu in here so you can go in and change settings. Like there's an exposure compensation setting here you can change. You can change the white balance, the ISO, HDR photos, self-timer, intervals for the life log, intervals for the time lapse. So that's the way to make the changes. You have to have a smartphone or tablet you can connect. But it's very useful because you can go in and do other features. For instance, you can go to the album, view all your photos, all your videos. You can then download them to your smartphone or view them, and then you can also edit them on the phone. There's a little built-in editing program here called My VR Story, where you can go through and take your clips, edit them together. You can also share these, instant sharing on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. There's also, you can live stream. Okay, so let's check out some of the video that this little camera is capable of recording. So what you're seeing, of course, is the wide-angle shot captured with the OmiCam VR. But what you're hearing is my voice being recorded on a separate digital recorder. Now, the reason for that is it's really good sound when I use this separate digital recorder. I use this with a lot of my productions. But I just want to do a comparison from the sound recorded on here compared to the camera itself. So I'm going to switch this off. And now what you're hearing is my voice being recorded directly into the camera. Now I'm not very far away, basically arm's length. That's less than a meter, 2.5 feet. And I find the sound is not that good. I mean, it's okay, I can discern what I'm saying, but I find that this camera tends to bring up the background sound a lot. There's a kind of a hiss in there that I don't really like. And it's a calm, quiet day. So I tend to use these digital recorders. I'll turn this back on. So now I'm talking with the digital recorder to get much better quality sound. As far as the wide-angle shot you're seeing, well, basically, in order to do this review, of course, I'm editing this on a 1080 HD timeline. So what I've done, this camera actually records in a spherical shot. It's like a round image in 4K, but I've just taken a slice out of the middle of that and magnified it, and that's the shot you're seeing now. But if you want to really experience the immersive lens of this camera, you have to edit it on some 360 software. And that takes that round image and edits it in such a way that you can move around the scene and see shots to the side and above, and it's a really immersive experience. Now, I have edited a sequence in a 360 perspective. Just to get an example of what I'm talking about, I've put a link in the description below so you can check that out after this review and see the real 360 performance of this camera. Just to give you an idea how this video plays back when edited in the 360-degree software, I've got a little segment here on the computer screen. I'll just play it back for you and show you the features that are available when viewing it in 360. So at first glance, it just looks like a normal video, but if I click on the mouse, I can actually move the picture around. I can look above me, see the trees above me there, come back down and see what's beside the canoe, or I can look down into the canoe or off to the other side. I can actually move quite around a lot in this screen. Now if I had a touch screen, I could actually just put my fingers on there and move it around, or if you had a tablet or a phone, you can do the same thing with swiping motions. This little action camera has a couple of nice built-in features, one being an image stabilizer. So no matter how you move the camera, your image is always going to be nice and steady. The other cool thing is this camera will automatically find and level the horizon for you. So if it's mounted this way on a tripod, it's going to find the horizon that way. But say you want to mount it sideways, say it's on a helmet or on a bicycle or something like that, well, it automatically adjusts and finds the horizon. Even if it's kind of at an angle or tilted down slightly, it always finds that level horizon. So that's a really nice feature to have. The other cool feature, it's called Life Log, and basically it's a function that records small snippets of video or still pictures. Now most cameras they will shoot video and still pictures, but this will allow you to shoot them over the course of the day, almost like a time lapse. So you can put on the little mount here and say clip it to your backpack strap or on your helmet, and then you can set it to record a 5-second, a 15-second, or a 30-second video clip every 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. So the idea behind that is, say you're doing a long trek, you turn that feature on, and throughout the day it's going to record little bursts of video. So at the end of the day, you can put all these together and basically you've got a whole sequence of your day's outing. So to sum up, I've really enjoyed using the OmiCam VR action camera. There's a couple of negative things, like the fact that the battery, it's a built-in battery. I mean, it lasts quite a while, but it'd be really nice if you had a replacement battery, so when you're out on a long day, you can easily replace it. Otherwise, make sure you take a power bank with you so you can charge it up in the field if you need to. The other thing I was a little disappointed in was the quality of the audio. It's, I don't know, I just found the background, there was kind of a hiss there that was, I don't know, I just found it a little annoying. But as far as the image quality, this records an amazing 4K wide-angle video, and it's that super wide 240-degree field of view, which is really, really impressive. So whether you're editing it in a 360 video or just incorporating it into a regular video, it gives you that great cinematic view. And the Life Log feature, you know, at first I thought, well, it's kind of a gimmick. Why do I want all these little snippets? But it is a neat idea, actually. It will basically take all these snippets or all these photos and summarize your day, and you don't have to do anything. You just set it, clip it on, and you're all set to go. So, you know, a great little camera with lots of cool features.